A 17-meter sperm whale has been spotted off Taiwan's east coast, well ahead of the usual season for whale watching.
Sperm whales are some of the ocean's biggest and most mysterious creatures, but the way they sleep may be even stranger than you think. Unlike most animals, these giant whales don't rest the usual way. They sleep standing upright in the water, almost still, in a world of near total darkness. At first, it looks calm and peaceful, but the truth behind this habit is much darker than anyone imagined. Scientists studying these deep-diving whales are finding secrets that change what we know about the sperm whales. So why exactly do they sleep in vertical positions? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. The dark reasons why sperm whales sleeps in vertical position. Sperm whales live a life that most people will never see, because these huge creatures spend much of their time in places where humans cannot go. They dive down into the deep parts of the ocean, places so far below the surface that sunlight cannot reach them at all. Down there, it is pitch dark, extremely cold, and full of pressure so strong that it could crush metal or even break human bones. Yet these whales move through that world like it is normal for them, almost as if their bodies were specially built for these harsh places. Before every deep dive, a sperm whale slows its heartbeat from its usual pace to something extremely slow, sometimes dropping from around 60 beats per minute down to only about 10. When this happens, the whale's whole body behaves differently. Parts of its system go quiet, so it can save as much oxygen as possible. The oxygen that is left is pushed mainly toward the brain and the muscles that help it swim. This slow and steady change allows the whale to stay underwater for long periods without coming up for air. In these moments, the whale moves with calm, steady strokes, almost like a giant drifting ghost, in total darkness. In the deep, the whale hunts. It uses powerful clicking sounds that are so loud and strong that they can travel extremely far through the water. Each click works like a small burst of sound that hits objects and bounces back, letting the whale see with sound. With these clicks, the whale can build a picture of what is around it, even though it cannot see anything with its eyes. It can tell if something is small, large, near, or far. This skill helps it find one of its main foods, the giant squid. The giant squid is described as a creature with long, heavy tentacles and sharp suckers, something so big that it looks like it belongs in a legend. When a whale locates one, the two creatures meet in the darkness in a silent, fierce struggle that humans rarely witness. The whale must fight carefully and skillfully because the squid's hooked suckers can leave deep circular scars on the whale's skin. Sperm whales spend almost 3/4 of their lives in deep places like this, where human machines can barely survive even for a short time. Because of this, there is so much about them that people still do not fully understand. For example, scientists have noticed whales sleeping straight up and down in the water, almost like floating pillars. They stay completely still for a while before waking up and swimming again. Nobody knows exactly why they sleep this way, and it remains one of the many mysteries surrounding their behavior. However, some reports allegedly state that sperm whales are attackers by nature, so they sleep vertically, being subconsciously ready to attack anytime they sense a threat. Another thing that makes sperm whales fascinating is the way they communicate. They use special patterns of clicks called codas. These patterns are not random. They repeat in rhythms and groups, almost like messages. Different families of whales use different dialects, meaning they have their own version of these click patterns. Young whales learn these sounds from older whales, the same way children learn language from parents and community members. This shows that whales pass down knowledge through culture, not just instinct. When humans meet sperm whales in the water, something surprising often happens. Instead of acting aggressive, these massive animals approach slowly and gently. They sometimes scan a diver's body with soft clicks, which allows them to sense the shape, heartbeat, and even internal details. People who have had this experience often say they felt the clicks moving through their body like a vibration. Instead of fear or anger, the whales show curiosity, almost as if they want to understand the strange, small creature floating in front of them. Throughout history, however, people misunderstood sperm whales. Early sailors were terrified of them. They called them monsters, devils, and other frightening names. With their huge heads, loud sounds, and strange appearance, whales became symbols of fear in many old stories. Sailors also saw giant circular scars on whales' bodies and believed the legendary kraken had attacked them. One event made the whale seem even more fearsome: the sinking of the ship Essex in 1820. A sperm whale struck the ship twice, breaking it apart and leaving the crew stranded. This event later inspired the famous story of Moby Dick, which helped create the image of the sperm whale as a powerful, dangerous beast. If sperm whales navigate the deepest oceans with remarkable skill, how have they survived centuries of whaling, developed complex cultures, and shaped the world around them? Let's find out. Whaling, survival, culture, and the whale's role in the world. As time went on, fear turned into something else: profit. Humans discovered that sperm whales carried a special substance in their heads called spermaceti. This substance burned cleanly in lamps, worked well in machinery, and did not freeze easily. Because of this, spermaceti became incredibly valuable. Ships from many countries went out into the oceans, hunting whales in huge numbers. For more than a century, whaling ships chased and killed these animals until the oceans were almost empty of them. Some areas lost nearly all their whales, and global populations dropped sharply. The whales could not recover quickly because they only give birth to one calf every 5 to 7 years. This slow reproduction rate made it almost impossible for them to rebuild their numbers while being hunted so aggressively. By the time the world finally passed a ban on commercial whaling in 1986, many populations were already damaged. The protection came just in time for some groups, allowing slow recovery, but many others were permanently reduced. Even today, their numbers remain far lower than they once were. What makes the story of sperm whales even more meaningful is how deeply connected they are to their environment. Their bodies hold special systems that allow them to dive deeper and longer than almost any other animal. Their lungs can collapse safely under pressure, their blood holds large amounts of oxygen, and their muscles store oxygen using a rich supply of myoglobin. Their heads contain the powerful organ used to create the loud clicking sounds that help them navigate and communicate. But beyond their bodies, sperm whales live rich social lives. They form families led by older females. These elders guide the group, teach younger whales where to migrate, where to find safer waters, and where to feed. This knowledge is passed down through generations, showing that these animals have traditions just like human communities. Sperm whales also play a major role in supporting life in the ocean, and even life on land. When they dive deep to feed and come back up again, they bring nutrients like iron from the deep ocean to the surface. These nutrients help tiny plants in the water grow. These tiny plants, known as plankton, not only feed many sea creatures, but also produce about half of all the oxygen in the world. By helping plankton grow, sperm whales indirectly help keep the air on Earth clean and breathable. Whales also help lock away carbon. When they live long lives and eventually die, their bodies sink to the bottom of the ocean. This sinking process takes huge amounts of carbon down with them, where it stays trapped for many years. Their bodies then become a deep-sea ecosystem, feeding and sheltering countless species for up to a century. Because of all these things, sperm whales are more than just large sea creatures. They are powerful builders of the ocean environment. They shape the balance of life in ways that most people never realize. Despite everything humans have done to them, fear, misunderstanding, and years of heavy hunting, they continue to show intelligence, cooperation, curiosity, and an important role in keeping the ocean healthy. If sperm whales can survive the crushing depths and hunt in darkness, how do they use their voices, social bonds, and intelligence to navigate the deep and connect with one another? Let's learn more. Sperm whales, voices, society, and minds of the deep. Among the world's loudest and most interesting creatures are sperm whales. They can click at up to 236 decibels, which is much louder than what is safe for humans to hear. In contrast, regular speech is roughly 60 decibels, and human eardrums can burst at 150 decibels. These clicks can reach hundreds or even thousands of miles, since sound travels more quickly and far in water than in air. There are several uses for these clicks. Echolocation is one of the main uses. There is no sunlight and high pressure in the deep ocean. However, sperm whales use the echoes of their clicks to see in the dark as they move with speed and skill. However, moving is not the only use for these clicks. They are used in social communication as well. Codas are patterns of clicks made by sperm whales. Coda patterns vary throughout clans or social groupings, and it can take up to 2 years for calves to learn how to create same sounds. Like human babies, young whales babble until they learn the proper sound. These sequences are not natural. They are learned. Young people learn from adults. Some clicks are specific to each whale and can function as names. There are plenty uses for codas. They support whales in keeping social ties, communicating with calves, and organizing hunting and travel. Whales may discuss methods through these sequences, according to researchers. Whales may have learned and shared ways to escape capture because historical data shows that whalers' success reduced over a period of years. Sperm whales are not only loud, but also very clever and socially aware, as evidenced by the vast amounts of information found in coda sequences. Strong social units known as pods, typically led by older females, are home to sperm whales. For many years, these pods provide care for young calves. Mothers can hunt without ignoring their children because calves can suckle for up to 13 years and are always cared for by other adults. Sperm whales can work for the good of the group rather than just themselves, as seen by their cooperative behavior. Although they are not totally alone, adult men typically leave their birth pods to have more solitary lifestyles. For the purpose of hunting, traveling, or resting, they always create short groups with other males. The social structure of these male groupings is flexible. Vocal communication is used to keep social ties in both male groups and pods. Even over great distances in the ocean, the group remains strong and united thanks to loud and precise sounds, such as codas. Sperm whales have the biggest brains of any living thing. Their brains are around 6 times larger than those of humans, weighing 7 to 9 kilos. Advanced social interaction, spatial reasoning, memory, and auditory processing are all supported by the structure of these brains. These skills help whales to create bonds, teach and learn from one another, move through the deep waters, and remember hunting paths. Their intelligence helps communication, cooperation, culture, and survival. The detailed social interactions and communication of sperm whales show their awareness, change, and skill for learning. In conclusion, sperm whales have amazing social and mental skills. Their clicks function as both language and sonar. They have strong cultural traditions and cooperative social structures. They can teach and learn, survive in harsh conditions, and keep close social ties thanks to their intellect. Understanding sperm whales allows us to get ideas into a whole different type of intelligence that has developed over millions of years in the vast, harsh, and dark realm of the deep ocean. How do the bodies, defenses, reproduction, sleep, and conservation efforts of sperm whales work to help their survival in the deep ocean? Stay tuned for more. Physical traits: defense, reproduction, sleep, and conservation. Sperm whales, also called Physeter macrocephalus, are some of the most amazing animals in the ocean. They are the largest predators that still live today. Male sperm whales can grow to about 52 feet long, and the largest ever recorded was 79 feet, which is longer than the Hollywood sign in California. Female sperm whales are smaller, usually around 35 feet. One of the most incredible features of sperm whales is their brain. Their tails are very strong and allow them to swim quickly, up to 37 kilometers per hour, and can also be used to defend themselves when needed. Sperm whales have many special adaptations to survive in the deep ocean. They can dive over 3,000 feet below the surface and stay underwater for nearly 2 hours. On average, a dive lasts between 33 and 53 minutes. Diving so deep is not easy, but sperm whales are built for it. Sperm whales also have impressive ways to defend themselves. They are generally peaceful, but they can fight if they are threatened. Predators may be scared by their clicks, which are the loudest noises made by any mammal. One of the few animals that hunt sperm whales is the killer whale, sometimes known as an orca, which mostly targets females and young whales. Even orcas rarely attack males due to their size and strength. In a rare structure known as the Marguerite Formation, female sperm whales and their young defend one another by forming a circle and facing outward with their tails set for attack. Males sometimes even help nearby whale groups when needed. They are very hard to hurt thanks to these protective ways, strength, and strong tails. The life cycle and reproductive process of sperm whales are different. Females become sexually mature around 9 years old, at a length of about 29 feet. They have calves once every 5 to 7 years after a pregnancy that lasts 14 to 16 months. A newborn calf is about 13 feet long. Females continue growing until around age 30. Males grow more slowly and reach full size at about 50 years old. Males usually leave their family groups to live alone or with other males, while females stay in social groups. Research has shown that all living sperm whales share a single female ancestor from around 80,000 years ago. Lifespans of sperm whales are about 70 years. Sleep is very different for sperm whales than it is for most animals. They only take little naps of 15 to 20 minutes at a time and don't need much sleep. They can keep watch, breathe, and stay safe from predators during these brief naps. Sperm whale protection is important due to the plenty risks they face. These days, eating trash, getting tied in fishing nets, getting hit by ships, pollution, and loud ocean noises are the biggest threats. The IUCN tags sperm whales as vulnerable, and the U.S. Endangered Species Act tags them as endangered. Sperm whales have high legal protection because the international business of these animals is illegal by CITES. Sperm whales continue to inhabit all of the world's main oceans in spite of these issues. They continue to be among the strongest creatures in the water due to their intelligence, size, and social habits. To sum up, sperm whales are amazing creatures. They carry different characteristics: high defenses, long lifespans, interesting social and reproductive habits, strange sleep patterns, and steady conservation problems. They are among the most interesting animals on the Earth because of their ability to excel in the deep ocean, as well as their intelligence and communication skills. Continued study and protection are essential to ensure that these giants of the sea remain safe and continue to dominate the oceans for many generations. How have recent studies by marine biologists and AI experts unlocked the hidden patterns of whale communication? Keep watching to find out. Decoding the Deep, Unraveling Whale Communication and Culture. For a very long time, scientists have been curious about the sounds whales make. In the 1970s, researchers started paying special attention to humpback whales and the noises they produced. They found that the moans, groans, and songs of these whales were not random at all. Instead, the sounds were complex, organized, and changed over time. Sometimes these songs could last for several hours. The recordings of these whale songs were collected and published in an album called Songs of the Humpback Whale. This was the first scientific evidence showing that whale sounds had a pattern. The album also caught the attention of the public and helped start a worldwide effort to protect whales from extinction. However, the early researchers faced many challenges. They had simple tools and could only hear a part of the sounds. They could record the songs, but they could not fully understand what the whales were trying to communicate. The more scientists listened, the more questions they had. It was clear that whale communication was far more complex than anyone had thought. A major breakthrough came when Dr. David Gruber, an American marine biologist and National Geographic researcher, approached the problem in a new way. He believed that the old tools and methods were not enough to understand whales. Dr. Gruber found inspiration in a field that had nothing to do with the ocean: the search for alien life in space, called SETI, or Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. SETI listens for signals from space in hopes of finding life elsewhere in the universe. Dr. Gruber asked a bold question: what if the intelligent life we are looking for is not in space, but right here on Earth, in the form of whales. From this idea, he created Project SETI, also called the Citation Translation Initiative. The goal of the project was not just to record whale sounds, but to create a way for humans to communicate back with whales. Dr. Gruber assembled a team of experts from many different fields. The group included marine biologists, computer scientists, linguists, and robotic engineers. Each expert brought special knowledge to the team. What made this team different from older whale studies was the combination of skills and the shared goal of translating whale language. Field experience was very important to the project. Shane Giro, a marine biologist, had spent more than 10 years observing a family of sperm whales near Dominica in the Caribbean. He knew the whales individually, watched them grow, and learned their habits. This kind of long-term observation gave the project crucial information about whale behavior. The crew was able to link the noises the whales made to some behaviors and social situations because they knew the animals personally. Another important part of the effort was technology. On the ocean floor, the group set up hydrophones, underwater microphones, in a grid. The whales were captured by this equipment every time. The scientists employed robotic drones to attach tiny, non-invasive suction cup tags to the whales' backs in order to get even more precise data. The whales' heart rate, movements, sounds, and interactions with other whales were all captured by these tags. The team was able to understand not only what the whales were saying, but also why they were saying it by joining behavioral data with steady underwater recordings. Artificial intelligence was able to assist in a way that humans could never have, thanks to the big volume of data that was gotten. The AI saw patterns in millions of whale clicks using spectrograms, which are visual display of sound. Sequences known as codas are created by these clicks. The AI studied changes in rhythm, tempo, and extra small clicks called ornamentations. These subtle differences showed changes in meaning, social context, or emotion. AI was able to pick patterns that human ears were unable to. Whale communication was shown to be highly structured after years of observation, behavioral data, and AI research were joined. The codas have rules and variations that might pass various signals, so they weren't arbitrary. This study showed that whales have sophisticated communication systems. Their sounds express social ties, emotions, and meaning. What can we learn about the behavior, hunting, and communication of these whales in their natural habitat from recent deep-sea expeditions? Let's learn more. Exploring the deep, sperm whales, squid, and ocean life. A team of ocean explorers led by James Cameron set out to study the deep ocean, a place still mostly unknown and unexplored. Their mission was to understand sperm whales, the animals they eat, and the ecosystems that support them. The team included Zoleka Philander, a deep-sea researcher, Melissa Marquez, a shark biologist, Eric Stackpole, an ocean technology expert, and Aldo Kane, a former Royal Marine. They used the Ocean Explorer, one of the most advanced research ships ever built, designed to explore the ocean in ways never done before. Their research focused on the Azores, a group of volcanic islands in the Atlantic Ocean. Each summer, nearly 1,000 sperm whales gather here. These whales are easy to identify because of their sideways spouts. Most of the time, they stay deep underwater, surfacing only about 20% of the time. The whales are cautious around boats because of past hunting in the area, which only ended in 1987. To study the whales closely, Melissa Marquez and Aldo Kane dove into the water with them. They observed that sperm whales can dive up to a mile deep and stay underwater for up to an hour. Despite their large lungs and thick blubber, which could make deep diving difficult, the whales move easily and seem effortless. The researchers joined with renowned whale biologist Rui Prieto, who has spent more than 20 years studying sperm whales in the Azores, to better understand this. They worked together to create a rare camera tag that could withstand the strain of deep dives. The first ever video of a whale's deep diving habit was captured when the camera tag was attached to the whale. The group saw how whales glide to manage energy after diving with their tail flukes. Also, They captured codas, which are strange noises used to communicate with family members across great distances, and sonar clicks, which whales use to hunt prey in the dark. Scientists now have a better understanding of how whales interact and survive below the surface thanks to this. The group also investigated the diet of sperm whales. Squid, such as whiplash, bird, and Dana octopus squid, is their main food source. Amazing characteristics of these squid include their partial transparency, to change color using unique skin cells called chromatophores, and ability to glow with bioluminescent lights for hunting or defense. The researchers recorded rare footage of these squid in their native deep-sea habitat using remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and silent camera systems like the Angler. Specifically, the first records of the Dana octopus squid were found in the Atlantic. These big squid make up a big part of the sperm whale's daily diet. The larger environment was also checked by the trip. Tiny plankton are fed by nutrient-rich currents that push food to the top near the Azores. Zolika Philander and Edith Witter showed how tiny organisms form the basics of the ocean food chain by using special lights to expose the bioluminescence of the plankton. Fish consume plankton, squid consume fish, and sperm whales consume squid. This showed the deep relationships between microscopic life and the biggest water creatures. Sperm whale behavior, hunting, and the habitats that keep them have all been better understood thanks to this search. With the use of cutting-edge technology, years of experience, and careful fieldwork, the team produced unheard-of film and observations. Their research shows the richness and complexity of the deep ocean, showing the need to keep finding and protecting this mostly unchecked realm. How can the remarkable size, strength, and rare characteristics of other whale species found throughout the world's oceans compare to the amazing behaviors and deep-sea hunting techniques of sperm whales? Let's take a closer look. Giants and wonders of the ocean. Whales are among the biggest and most interesting species found in the world's waters. The largest living creature is thought to be the Antarctic blue whale. It can reach a length of 30 meters, 98 feet, and a weight of more than 180 tons, according to experts. One Antarctic blue whale can weigh as much as 30 African elephants, to put that in context. Those who have seen these whales up close describe it as an incredible experience, likening it to standing on a train platform while a huge train speeds by. Its big structure is supported by a heart the size of a car, which helps it to survive in the ocean. Up to 3,600 kilograms, 7,930 pounds, of krill are eaten daily by this whale. That's more than a person could eat in 70 years. Even though they consume a lot of food, these whales only eat small animals and are not predators. With calls that reach 188 decibels, they are also the loudest animals on the planet. They can communicate over long distances since their sounds can carry hundreds of kilometers underwater. Sadly, hunting has caused the Antarctic blue whale population to decline, from 125,000 in the early 20th century to just over 3,000 now. To help keep this amazing subspecies, conservation efforts are continuing. Another extraordinary whale is the 52 Hertz whale, sometimes called the loneliest whale in the world. Unlike most whales, which communicate at low frequencies, this whale calls at 52 Hertz. Other whales cannot hear it, so it has no companions. Scientists have tracked this whale since the 80s, but its unusual calls and isolation remain a mystery. In the Arctic, a male beluga whale has shown remarkable intelligence and interaction with humans. It once returned a lost iPhone to a girl at a pier in Norway, played catch with fans who threw a ball into the water, and even carried a GoPro camera on its head. These behaviors suggest unusual intelligence and curiosity for a whale. Migaloo, an albino humpback whale first seen off Australia in 1991, is another unique whale. Albino whales are very rare, and Migaloo has descendants named Balo Willow and Migaloo Jr. To protect this rare whale, the Australian government requires people to stay at least 500 meters away. Sightings of Migaloo are rare and special for those who are lucky enough to see it. S whales and northern bottlenose whales are two more interesting whale species. Northern bottlenose whales are always seen close to the coast and inhabit areas in the northern hemisphere, such as the Mediterranean, White Sea, and Baltic Sea. With a maximum length of 13 meters, 42 feet, S whales are the third largest rorquals. They inhabit oceans from the northern regions to the Antarctic and always move in small groups close to the coast. In summary, whales are among the ocean's most amazing creatures. From the giant Antarctic blue whale to intelligent belugas and rare albino humpbacks, each species has unique features and behaviors. Scientists continue to study and protect these animals to ensure they survive for future generations. What do you think about the behaviors of the sperm whales? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the world of sperm whales. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible ocean stories. Click the next video on your screen to continue exploring the mysteries of the deep sea. See you there.